Coffee is an amazing drink, and by the way, it's the best-selling consumer product after gasoline. Yes, indeed, humanity is addicted to coffee, but it also has downsides. Something that not everyone knows, something that manufacturers are hiding. Hi friends, I'm Ibra, and in this video I've collected not all-knowing information about bean coffee and instant coffee. And at the end of the video, I will also give you 7 interesting facts and myths about coffee. So watch it to the end, be sure to subscribe to my channel, click on the bell, and let's go. When we talk about coffee, we immediately think of caffeine. Caffeine is small white crystals. It has pronounced stimulating effect and excites the central nervous system, that is, our brain. And this is vivacity, lifted spirit, increased efficiency, increased heart rate, in general, all those wonderful feelings that we experience after an invigorating cup of coffee in the morning. And of course, caffeine causes some addictive, it's a fact, and in very large quantities, caffeine can cause exhaustion of our nervous system. The most pronounced effect of caffeine is observed by a person for 1 hour, but nevertheless the half-life of caffeine in the blood is somewhere 3-7 hours, on average 5 hours. Also, caffeine has a diuretic effect, that's why after coffee we tend to go to the toilet. After caffeine has ceased to be active, a second substance comes into play, and its name is theobromine. So theobromine has the opposite effect from caffeine, and thus the basic recommendation: after you have had a cup of coffee, after half an hour, drink a glass of water. Thereby you will avoid the harmful effects of the violation of water-salt balance in the body. And now an important note: everything I just said related to real coffee, that is, to the grain coffee. But in addition to the green coffee, there is a cheap analog, it's instant coffee. The thing is, when coffee is produced, it's being roasted. The caffeine fraction can be used for the production of some drugs where caffeine is used. The inner shell of bean goes to the production of instant coffee, so there is much less caffeine in instant coffee. By the way, an interesting fact: some varieties of instant coffee doesn't cheer you up in any way, but on the contrary, they make you want to only sleep and relax. That is, in fact, when you drink instant coffee, you get a dose of theobromine. In fact, with this instant coffee, there are even problems. A person falls asleep at the wheel, he drinks a very strong dose of instant coffee, and instead of expected vivacity, he can only get even more sleepiness. Now, 7 myths and facts about coffee. Coffee is highly addictive, and it's a fact. You can even feel addicted to 1 cup of coffee, but to get rid of this addiction, you need about 1 week. The next fact: coffee causes insomnia. It worsens the quality of sleep, and it's also true. But it's actually all individual. For some people this effect is pronounced and for others not. Still, for most people, if they drink real coffee beans an hour before bedtime, of course they will have serious problems to fall asleep. And some people are not recommended to drink coffee even 6 hours before bed. There is a myth that coffee promotes the removal of various toxins and detergents from the body. This is not confirmed at all. It's not true. In fact, if you drink coffee immediately after a meal, you can even worsen the process of digestion of food. The next myth is that coffee helps relieve tension. This is also not true. In reality, it's quite the opposite. Caffeine excites our central nervous system, and we only become more nervous. The next fact is that coffee can interfere with your ability to conceive, and in some cases, if you consume a lot of coffee on a regular basis, it's true. So doctors sometimes recommend giving it up for this purpose for a while. There is a myth that coffee can help you get rid of hangover. It's not true. The coffee can only somewhat cheer a person up and improve his subjective feeling, but has nothing to do with getting rid of the actual symptoms of a hangover. Coffee and cigarettes are not only connected psychologically, but also chemically. Yes, it has been proven that those who smoke drink coffee much more and more often. And this is due to the fact that nicotine promotes a faster removal of caffeine from the blood. Thus, the smoker seeks to replenish the caffeine and therefore drinks more coffee. So friends, write in the comments below, do you like coffee, and what kind of coffee? I like Frappuccino, and what about you? Also, you can watch my other healthy videos, it's already on your screen. And if you like this video, then press like button, share it to your friends, and see you on my other videos.